welcome to the judge and the
so the
coaches.
judges and the coaches will make their way down the field of play. Chef, a very quick one while we wait for the athletes to come out. Last time you competed, Tokyo Olympic Games, 2020, as we're supposed to say, obviously delayed by a year to 2021. Very different atmosphere in the venue here compared to there. We seem to have come out of the COVID restrictions.
Yeah, it's nice to see people sitting around and being able to watch archery live again. In Tokyo, there was a bit of a different atmosphere, mostly because there was no audience allowed. There were only some volunteers in the stands, and it was nice that they could watch on and cheer a bit. But it's not the same as a field stand.
It certainly isn't. It's wonderful to be back properly. And to be fair, there are restrictions in place. There are still protocols in place to restrict any potential outbreak of this nasty COVID-19 bug. But it does start to feel like we're getting back to normal. Teams leading out for what has to be the tastiest of the matches so far. Two very strong teams, perhaps arguably the teams that you would argue would have made it here to the gold medal match, the compound men's team competition, as Turkey take on the Netherlands. Let's go down to that shooting line to get the athlete introductions.
On target number 1, representing the Netherlands, Seal Pater, Mike Schlösser, and Steph Willis. On target number 2, representing Turkey, Batuhan Akçoğlu, Emirkan Hane, und Jakob Yildiz. The line judge for this match is Katerina Konchalova.
Well, there we have it. A strong lineup, no, but a couple of names there that you might not know. Let's start with Turkey. Akaloyu, 19-year-old, the youngest on the Turkish team, teaming up with Hani, the 21-year-old, and another 19-year-old Yildiz in the team lineup, 19 for Turkey. Netherlands, perhaps a bit more familiar, still Pater and Mike Schlösser, Mr. Perfect, of course, but a youngster, Steph Willems. It's your team, Chef. What can you tell us?
Yeah, Steph has transitioned, I think, from field to target, or at least picked up target shooting. He used to be a field archer mostly, and he's been picked up by the youth team and is now shooting target with maybe the greatest compound archer of all time.
Time to get the gold medal match underway as Akaloyu is off the mark with a 9 for the Turkish team. Shooting in the middle for a 10.
It's an incredibly young team. They have an average age of under 20 years old.
Yeah, Turkey notorious for their strength, popular sport in Istanbul and all over Turkey. As your team, the Netherlands, get underway with Sil Pater.
Yeah, a little bit of a wobbly shot, so he might be feeling the nerves a bit, but I'm sure he can settle down throughout the match. And here we see Steph, who I was talking about before. Hasn't been shooting target competitions for so long, but seems to not be bothered by that fact. And although the Dutch team has not ranked really high, I think in the matches they have shot some very impressive scores, and yeah, they have a great anchor obviously in Mike Schlösser, the #1 ranked archer in the world.
Netherlands came through Iceland with a 238, which was the highest score. Germany, Greece and Slovenia. Turkey had a bye through the first round, taking out Norway, Portugal, and then Austria.
Nine.
Turkey famously using wrist releases quite often. So a trigger for your index finger and connected to your wrist. I think one of the most well-known archers in Turkey using a wrist release is Demir El-Maghachli, who a couple of years ago was one of the highest ranked archers in the world. And ever since then, I think I've seen more and more people use them again. So even though that's maybe a bit old school, it seems to be coming back.
Bit of pressure here on Mike Schlosser, 10 required to keep the scores level. Mr. Perfect. Both teams shooting a 58, dropping just 2 points in the first end. I know it's difficult for you because, of course, you are supporting the Netherlands, but just for now, just try and put yourself in neutral hat on. Both started really well.
Yeah, they did, and obviously I'm rooting for the Netherlands a little bit. I know I'm supposed to be.
Come on, chef.
I'm supposed to be impartial, I suppose, but
they will allow you.
There's a little bit of orange blood in me still. I think this might be a really good match to watch. Like I said before, they're not the highest ranked archers from the ranking round. Steph and Sil are not necessarily known for their high ranking scores. But in the team matches, they've been excellent. They've shot really well, and I think they can show what they're worth right now on this final stage.
Mr. Perfect with his trademark nod as we look back at the Turkish team there. Kolyu, the oldest there with the cap, teaming up with Hani. All square though. There's the podium debutant Steph Willems, the 18-year-old that Chef was talking about, making a very promising start to his target shooting, having been a field archer. Has moved over. There are the women's European bronze medalists from Turkey in the crowd to support. And men also trying to achieve the same feat. All square bronze medal in the compound men's team competition. Turkey taking on the Netherlands, and it will be a Kolyu to shoot first.
Seems really pleased with that one. There's some, you can see that he has some nerves. His face is a bit tense. His movements are a bit nervous. So it's always good to show if you're a bit nervous. In my opinion, you can try to hide it, but that'll just it'll just bottle up inside you, and it's better to just accept the fact that you're nervous and make use of it.
Well, perhaps shooting first here is the advantage that you've mentioned before, Chef, because now the pressure is all on Sil Patter and Co to level up.
It was a much better shot than the first one he did, but yeah, I was gonna say he should maybe move his sight a bit, and he just did.
You be there with Chef, you talked about equipment. Willem's equipment looks less cluttered, let's call it that. There's not much on there.
Yeah, yeah, he has a really, I would say simple setup as far as a compound bow concerns.
And another 10, 20.
An uncharacteristic liner for Mike. Typically nails them, but yeah, he doesn't have so much on his bow. But if it works, it works. You don't need all of that stuff on your bow. I think also the angle of the shot might have been deceiving since he's a left-handed archer, so you look into a side window rather than on the side where everything is mounted. So it also looks less cluttered because of that.
So far, there's no clutter in the minds of this Turkish trio. Yildiz with a chance to make the perfect here in the second end of 60 points.
Ooh, there was a bit of a dip, but he managed to correct it.
Well, you can't shoot more than that. Compound women's bronze medal team of Turkey in the crowd supporting their teammates. Well, has that just completely opened the door for Turkey? 2 10s from the Netherlands will still see them trailing by 3 at the halfway stage. Gets his 10.
Steph is really proving his worth right now in the team. I think yeah, he'll be really pleased with how this is going so far.
And that's a 10. 57.
Well, they got the 2 10s they needed to limit the damage in the end there, but I know it's difficult for you to these are your former teammates that you're talking about and your friends, I'm sure, but Patter there, a 9 and 8 in that end, that's made a difference.
Yeah, and he's consistently hitting left. He was also looking at his bow and adjusting his sight to the left, so he's well aware of the fact that he's hitting left, and I'm sure in his head, his mind must be racing, thinking, okay, how can I fix this? What am I doing wrong? Is there something wrong with my equipment, or is it me? And it's very difficult to be on a final stage and not get lost in a train of thoughts rather than just being in the moment and trying to shoot your best shot. So I think what Sil needs to do right now is just calm down, which is easy to say if you're sitting in a seat in in front of a screen, but yeah, he should just try to calm down as much as possible. Lean on his teammates, who are doing incredibly well, and communicate with his teammates, saying, okay, I'm dealing with the fact that I'm shooting left. Are you also experiencing wind, or is it just me? So you can really go for information there.
It makes a tough reading though if you look at the scoreline. All 10s when you look at Willems and Schlosser, albeit a couple of liners from Schlosser that you pointed out, but they're still 10s. That man there, Sil Patter, just struggling with a few demons. He shot 2 9s in the first, a 9 and 8 in the second, and it is the difference between the two teams. Turkey, though, on fine form with a perfect in the second. Halfway through this gold medal match between two of the strongest teams in this sport, Netherlands trailing by 3, need to fight back straight away over to Sil Patter. Ouch.
Yeah, and the shot didn't look that bad. So I think, this is a moment where you need to decide, am I just going to give my sight a crank and perhaps hit a right 9 rather than a left 8. But he'll need to change something, be it his sight or his shooting. But yeah, this is not gonna work out like this. but I'm sure he knows himself as well, and it's very easy from my perspective here to say that.
Oh, Schlosser there, Mr. Perfect, getting another liner. It is a 10, but he's making the adjustments he requires. Akolyu leading the line for Turkey.
Yeah, Turkey is now just riding a comfortable wave. They should just shot a 60. They have quite an advantage over the Netherlands, so they just need to fire good shots, and they have so much of an advantage that it's not really as exciting, although he just flinched. But still managed to shoot a 10, so he seems to be pretty pleased with that as well.
Another 10, and this is very much in the hands of Turkey. Look at the group as well, Chef. And you taught me about how important it is to get the group first and then move it to the centre. Turkey have got the group and it's in the centre.
Yeah, what more do you want? There we go. Now he seemed to have found it. He's still a little bit on the left, but he's also adjusting his sight. So I think from now on he should be hitting the middle if he shoots good shots. Yeah, they don't call Mike Mr. Perfect for nothing, as he shoots his 6-10, I think, in a row. Steph just shot his first 9, if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, that was to be expected from him.
18 years old, yeah.
Yeah, 18 years old, relatively unexperienced. So so far he's been doing great, if you ask me.
Oh, and we are asking you, and thank you very much for telling us. Let me just, so congratulations yet again, you're correct, the stats with Mike Schloss. A couple of liners, but they've all been in the 10, apart from one, which was an X. But look at this Turkish team. Akolyu has dropped 2 points in the match himself, 2 10s and 2 X's for him as well. The anchor Yildiz didn't look happy with that, but just look at those two groups. It's incredible.
Very, very impressive. And also, he knew that that shot was going to the right, but he corrected it just enough to be in the 10. And that's just a testament of how well he's feeling, what he's doing. And yeah, Turkey is just on a roll. They're shooting very well. Their youngest archer, or one of the 2 youngest archers, has shot 2 9s. And since then adjusted, and since then they've only shot 10s. So yeah,
it's an incredible performance. Yeah. As Silpata comes back into hitting the middle of the target, his teammate then goes on and shoots, the youngest member of the team, shooting his first 9, as you said. But you've got to feel a little bit for the Netherlands. I know you do, but all of us feel for them because they found the centre of the target themselves, but Turkey have taken the lead early and just ridden that wave again.
Yeah, and although obviously I am Dutch and therefore I would like to see the Netherlands win, what Turkey is doing right now is incredible. They've been shooting so well, and yeah, I can only have respect for that. I can only praise them for that.
Yeah. They have shot tremendously well. There's a little bit of a more relaxed atmosphere on that side of the shooting line. The Turks have done 2 back-to-back 60s and are on the brink of taking the 2022 European Championship title.
Yeah. And it's a bit of a vicious circle as well. They are more relaxed, therefore they shoot better, probably. But then they also shoot better because they're more relaxed. And yeah, it just goes around in circles. So it's difficult if you're trailing like the Netherlands is right now to not fall in you know, negative thought and to just try to keep sticking to your task.
Start of the 4th, Netherlands trailing by 6 points. Patter has adjusted. He was shooting left.
Yeah.
He's made the adjustments. He's shooting right. So now he's got to just balance himself out and find the middle of the target.
Yeah. That was the inevitable right 9 that I was talking about earlier. And Sil also, you could see from his face that he was thinking, obviously I'm shooting a right 9 right now after changing my sight. So yeah, it's a difficult place to be in terms of mindset.
Yeah, well, Patter's 9 was followed up by another 9 by Willems, and Mr. Perfect hasn't missed the centre of the target yet in this match. Must be tricky for him to maintain that high standard, knowing that this gold medal is likely out of the reach of the Dutch.
Yeah, and he seems much more relaxed than in the beginning of the match. So I think the fact that they have such a lead that they built up also just brings relaxation in the team. And you can see on their faces they're just having fun right now. They're just they're doing the thing they love on the big stage. You can see the content smile in the back from
Akolju, that is,
yeah.
In the background, standing next to his teammate Hani on the left. And that, believe it or not, is number 17 in a row for Turkey. They have 19 in total.
Yeah. So I think he might have adjusted his sight a bit to the right again and hit the 10. And it's not only the sight, obviously, that makes you go from left to right. It's also the shot, and it can be the canting of the bow. But it can be a very frustrating thing if you cannot find your sight mark. If you feel like you're hitting or you're not hitting where you're aiming, it can be a very frustrating thing and a very finicky thing to get right.
Mr. Perfect completes his perfect run in the match. Completes things for the Netherlands. A 2:30 the target set, 2:38 available to Akolju, Hani and Yildiz.
Yeah, and although this must breathe some confidence into Mike's final later this day, his opponent, which is now on the line if I'm not mistaken, or maybe the next archer, I'm not entirely sure. They've also been clean so far. So, yes, you've only shot 10s, but that doesn't mean that you're better than your opponent in this sense.
Well, it's in fact Yildiz who Schloss will face later, and he here could get a gold. Oh, it's 3 60s in a row for the Turkish team. They got the 2:38 that was available to them, and they have done this with some style against a strong Dutch team. Yes, there's a debutant in there, but in fact it was the experience of Sil Patter that gave away a few points early doors. He settled things up, but it was too late. Turkey found the centre of the target and did not miss it from the 5th arrow in the very first end. A phenomenal performance. Turkey, the new European champions.